All right, we are live and back with another Data and API show. It is great to have you all here today, and I am joined by a very special guest. Arjun, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Hey everyone, my name's Arjun. I work on the graphical education at Hasura. Pretty new to the team, just joined January, so super excited to join you on the show.
That's great. Yeah, Arjun is like one of those deeply technical people that's behind a lot of the really great content you see coming out lately. So he gets to play the smart one tonight. I'm going to play the one that asks the questions that everybody else probably already knows the answer to. But yeah, Arjun, you just recently wrote an article on regenerating Next.js pages with the new incremental static regeneration stuff, and we're going to have a look at that tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature. Before, you would just put a timer, and let's say every 60 seconds, you'd regenerate your Next.js page. Now we can use a webhook to regenerate when our data changes, so a lot more efficiently.
That is really nice. Yeah, because you're going to cut down on a lot of bandwidth. You're going to cut down on a lot of wasted, cycles. So this will be really great. This is a different show than what you may have signed up for or subscribed to. We had a little last minute change up. That show is going to be actually taking place on Thursday this week, which is a out of order extra bonus show later on with Swix to do part two of that show. So super excited for that. But we're going to go ahead and get kicked off with tonight's show, Next.js. I'm going to do the coding, and Arjun, you're going to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Does that sound like a good
Sounds fun.
match? All right. Let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here so we can get this thing going here. And I will start with this screen here. And oh boy, I've got a problem. So I'm getting told by my browser that I do not have permissions, which have always given it permissions in the past. So let's see what we can do here. Let me just give me 1 minute here to see what I can do to fix that. I'm gonna see about change. I didn't update anything. Just gonna try doing it through a window instead of. I can share a window, but I can't share a screen. So we'll figure out what we're going to do here about that. One of the things we could do here is use an online IDE. Do this through. Well, we could do this through probably a cloud project. There's nothing saying that this has to be through a local hosted version of Hasura, right?
Yeah, we can do cloud for the Hasura part. Just for the Next.js part,
Next.js, we could use. What's the name of that tool? It is called
there's
Code
StackBlit.
Online Stack. Yeah, StackBlitz, I think, is the one.
There's also like Replit.
Replit good. I think StackBlitz even has a Next.js starter. Look at that. It's in beta, but we can try it. Let me go ahead and sign in with GitHub here. Y'all can't see the auth window there, so that's fine. All right, I'm logged in here. We've got ourselves a basic Next.js application. So we're adding our first technical complication already, so that's fun. Let's have a look at the article here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in chat in case anybody wants to follow along as well. So we'll just go ahead and paste this in here. And I can move the screen share hoo-ha out of my way. Put that up on screen there. Yeah.
Check with the Next.js is just make sure all the dependencies are up to date because this is a brand new feature.
Indeed, good call. Let's have a look here. So, which version should we be expecting to use here?
Yep, 12.1 looks good to me.
Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and give this a go here. So we've got the start of the tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the link off the page. And from here, we're going to go ahead and say, okay, let's start from the top. We've got new in 12.1 is the incremental static regeneration, which again, I think is like, this sounds like such a cool feature because if you've ever done, invalidating pages in the past, pain in the buckus. So super excited about this. We've got, we need to set up Hasura. So basically the steps are to get a running copy of Hasura going. We're going to actually use Hasura Cloud for that. So I'll get that initiated here in 1 minute, followed by essentially setting up a table with an ID, title, and content. Pretty straightforward, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see how fast we can do that. So we're going to go ahead and go to Hasura Cloud. I'm not trying to give daily dev free promotion, but it seems to happen a lot on this show. Go ahead and go to a new project here. I'm going to go ahead and use, because I have access to it and because I'm in Germany, I'm going to go ahead and just bump this a little bit closer to where I'm located just for the benefit of some speed wins. Although I'm not sure where StackBlitz is located, so there may be latencies anyways. But we've got Perfect Piranha tonight, which I think that's kind of a fun alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
And we needed an environment variable, right? If I recall right from the steps. So we need to set up a special secret.
Yeah, to make sure that not anyone can just spam your Next.js app and just keep regenerating pages, we'll set up a shared secret. So that's actually in the top with the Hasura setup.
So we can do this one here with the secret token.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's right. So you said secret token and then a random string that I come up with. Oh, you do not want to give me free reign with random strings. That is a dangerous. I'm like a dad 3 times over. I can come up with random strings, man.
I'm excited.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and make a new token here. Create secret token. We'll just say peak beard envy. I have to say that is a magnificent piece you've got going there.
I gotta trim and cut it.
Wow. Well, enjoy while it lasts, man.
Control.
Yeah. All right, so we have the secret token. We're gonna go ahead and go to launching console now, and let's see what we got. So the next steps, according to the article, were to and we'll discuss why we made the environment variable in a little bit, I suppose. We'll make a table called post with a UUID, a title, and content. So we'll go ahead and make a new table here. Actually, I need to get a database first. Let's do that first. We'll do a free one from Heroku. So now we've got our third sporadic latency entropy generator. Wherever Heroku's throwing a free database at me, wherever Hasura is hosted, and wherever StackBlitz is hosted. So as long as the 3 of these stay happy with each other tonight, we're fine.
Looking good so far.
All right. Actually, they are quite snappy tonight, I gotta say. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go with a new table called post. And we wanted an ID. Actually, not going to do that. Sorry. We're going to do the frequently used column here, UUID. Then it was title, right, with the text.
Yep. And a question for you, Justy.
Yes.
We named our table posts. Do you have a preference on it should be posts or posts plural? Because I read a lot, and a lot of the old timers will say like it needs to be singular, but it seems like it's not a settled question.
Yeah. Since switching to Hasura, and I have to focus on saying that name because I found out that I've been saying it wrong for the last year. It's Hasura without a Z, not Hasura. Because it exposes the database layer. In a lot of cases, what you're bringing in is an actual model database, and in many cases, even legacy, or one that you've had for a while. Those paradigms of using singular name tables, I don't even know where it originates from. Just seems to be when people do it. I think maybe because join tables often tended to be the plural, form of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not entirely sure. With Hasura, you're able to actually name the relationships, like give it a custom field for relationships and name it what you want to. So you could just use the relationships as your plurals, things like that, I suppose. But I've gone with singular ever since coming to the company. So
cool.
Yeah, that's that's that. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get this table going. Go ahead and add that table. Do we have any dummy content to add to that?
We can. I didn't. I should have probably added some in the tutorial, but
We're gonna use my favorite tool then to do that. Over to Makaru.
Oh wow, cool.
We're gonna go ahead and just drop some of these excess ones here, just get some quick pieces that we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a title, randomize that with some sort of a. We're gonna go with nature titles today. We're gonna go with common animal names. And we're going to go with description here, or content was the thing, right? Content.
Yep.
And it was, I think, long text, or so we got. Maybe I'll just go back to the nature and I thought they had a long form text, sentences, maybe paragraph. There we go, random paragraph. At least one paragraph, no more than 3 paragraphs. That gives us something to work with. And we're going to go ahead and tell it that we are going to download an SQL file. And the name of our table is called post. And we're not going to include the create table statement. And we're going to only do about 500 rows, or we'll do 50 rows so we don't kill our generation time. And we will preview, make sure everything looks right. So insert into title content, black and white colobus, whatever that is. We'll go ahead and download our data here.
Oh, this is a really cool tool. You always have really cool tools.
You know, I got to contribute something to the amazing content everybody else is putting out there all the time. I'm going to just pop this up here into a tab, which is usually how I pull this up to be able to view it. I'm not sure if it's going to let me. Okay, I'm going to have to do it. What I can do is actually open this up inside of the Versal thing. I'm just going to pop this up in here. So that's my insert statement. We'll head over to the perfect piranha. You know, piranha, it's also an animal name. So I think this is all just lining up here.
Yeah, coming together.
We're going to go ahead and insert these statements, and we're not going to track this. We'll go ahead and run that. Should run just fine. And we should now be able to see, if we go to our API table, that if we were to do a quick query, we've got some basic names here. So we've got the post, we got the name, we got the title, content, and yeah.
Nice.
Dummy data, good to go.
Looks good.
All right, so let's see what the next step is here. So we've got the basic content, and we've got some basic dummy data. So now we got to go to Next.js land, yeah? So when we create an example TypeScript Next.js app, we've got the basic already created. We can add TypeScript support by touching the config here, I suppose, right?
And we don't have to do TypeScript in this. It won't affect anything.
I like doing it.
Okay, awesome.
Touch, what is it? .ts config, right?
Well, I think can you do like tsc -- init? Because
the reason why I'm suggesting this way is because Next.js will auto prompt.
Cool. Oh, it should be a tsconfig.json.
tsconfig.json?
That's the default. I'm not familiar with the Next.js.
I trust you. So we're going to go ahead and restart the server here.
And I think you might need to take the period off the front.
So maybe let's go ahead and rename that, because what it'll do is when it sees it, in theory, again, we're running kind of a beta here. So in theory, what it's going to do is going to say, here we go. So if you are not trying to use TypeScript, so here it tells us what it wants us to do. It wants us to install the dependencies. And so we can just do that now. And while it's doing that, there's going to be some more dependencies for us to install too, right? GraphQL request.
Yep, and also the GraphQL package.
And we've got both of them right there. I didn't grab the N on the NPM. That will lead to sad code. Did I actually just do the right thing there. Did it actually? Because it didn't actually ask me to enter. So yeah, I got GraphQL and GraphQL request. Very good. All right, so from here we should be able to run yarn. I'm totally mixing my paradigms here, but yarn dev, and we should have now a running example. I'm going to toss this terminal here. That's back to our starting point with TypeScript enabled.
Do we need to change the file name to .ts or?
We can do that as we go. It'll pick it up as we go. So this is the content we want for our index page, yeah?
We're fetching our blog data here through using GraphQL request and setting up the TypeScript.
Let's paste it in and have a talk through what's going on here. We'll go ahead and rename this real quick. It's going to probably make my server reboot, but we'll just see here. So we got TSX. All right, so let me see if I can actually boost this the screen size here so people are able to see a little better. I don't know how to hide the file browser here for the project. Toggle light dark, toggle Zen mode. Zen mode sounds like what I want.
Oh, nice.
Look at Zen mode.
That looks good.
All right, let's go ahead and see if I can boost the font size here. And I don't know if I can close the terminal, but we'll just do it like that for now. All right, so we got here, we've got the index page. So we've got our fetch client and our GraphQL. We're identifying the props for the page, which is posts, ID, title, content. So we're just iterating the posts over the index page. Is that what's going on here?
Yep, we're going to print out all the blog posts on our main page.
Then we have a query that we've identified. The GQL just gives us, obviously, the document for the query. And then we have a get static props right here on index page that's going to run during the build time and give us all of our content.
Yep, and we just rename it. Since in our Hasura we call it post, but in the front end we want to use the plural, so we just rename it there to posts.
Good call. Now we're going to go ahead and rename this to, well, yeah, you're right. So, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. We renamed it to be something a bit more idiomatic. Nice. Now, was there a reason why you don't alias it instead?
So just like in the GraphQL request? I didn't because I wasn't that smart. That's a really good idea.
Well, we can. I would not put it about being that smart, but we can definitely give it a shot here and see if that saves us just a tiny bit of code.
That was awesome.
Let's see if it works. So we got props post. So we got everything we need. Now what we're going to probably want to do here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out for now, just because we're working with this online IDE thing. If anybody in the chat needs to see something more specific, I'm happy to copy paste code over. But we got this document here, and what we're going to do now is open up the permissions so we can actually fetch this content. Because our request library, we're not actually passing in any headers or anything. We could with get static props, right? Because that's server-side execution, so we could totally just pass in our secret. I'm supposing, right?
Yeah. So get static props only runs on the server, so you shouldn't be leaking any secrets if you were using your admin.
So we can just do it that way real quick. We can just go ahead and touch a end file here. See how to create a new document. There we go. So files, we'll make a new .env, and we'll do it as what's a development.
I think it's .local.
That also, yeah, that's true. .local, and we need to say in this case, we're going to go ahead and define our secret token here one more time because we're going to need that later on. Which I can just put in now was peak beard envy, and then the Hasura admin secrets And go ahead and copy that real quick. What I'm going to do is temporarily pull this off the window and be able to paste that in there. Didn't actually give it to me. Oh, I just made a clear text. That's what I did. I thought I was copying it. Well, we'll see what ends up happening with that. All right. So putting this back over to where everybody can see what's going on, since it was clear text already for a little bit. Anyways, we've got our content here. We can go ahead and save the index page and see what it says. We'll perform a full reload when you edit a file. So now we need to pass in the headers. Go ahead and bump it up just a little bit anyways. Oops. And we can do the admin secret. And we'll do process.env. What is
secret token?
Hasura admin secret.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, sorry.
Good. It's complaining about that on the request. What is request asking for? It asks for the URL, the document, the variables. So it looks like.
Does it maybe need to be capital H? Is that what it was mad about?
But that would be weird, though, right? That's pretty It's pretty non-standard, right?
Okay. I thought that's what it was mad about. Argument. Let's see.
Well, what we're doing here is we are using mixed paradigms here. We're using we're passing in not named properties, so that's probably why it's unhappy. So first URL, then the document, then the variables, then the request headers.
I think it needs to be an object with headers
or the order needs to be switched around. So query goes next, then an empty set of variables, then the headers object.
Cool.
It appears to be happy or about, so we can go ahead and save that here and see. Do a hard refresh there, see what we get.
Well, we deleted our HTML code, so might be mad about that.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the code that we had.
Sorry, that was the next part.
Oh, it's the next part. There we go. No problem. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. I can see why it's complaining. Yeah, I can see that. I give it the right to be upset about that. So
yeah, sorry. It was. I always feel guilty putting huge code blocks, so I try to break it up.
All right, so we just added our types. No, it's all good. I just assumed that it was there. But welcome to Next.js 101, everybody. All right, so we got the problem. So it's not seeing the header, so it's probably just a function of it needing to be encapsulated in this format. Let's see if that. So we got the Hasura admin secret. It's complaining about not seeing the secret. I'm naming it correctly, but yeah, let's see if this is actually loading correctly. I'm going to go ahead and do the secret token. Was that capital secret token?
Let's see. I was using lower.
Let's uppercase.
I get a little confused with the casings. Sometimes it wants one, sometimes it wants the other.
Yeah, I think it's kind of not standard, but it's kind of common to do it with Let's see if we spit it out to the server here. So it's not seeing the environment variables. It's possible I need to reboot the server since it was since I added the .env to a running server instance. I thought it normally redid it by itself, but let's go ahead and see if it is happier if I reboot. Yeah, peak period envy. So we got the content. It did at least get the environment token now. So now we are in theory at least reading content. So we can see to pass in the correct header now. Let's see if it's okay with that. I don't think it will be because that's not really a valid key.
Do we need let's see.
I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure I have the correct secret there. Sure that I have the right headers like format here. So we got the variables, we got the request headers.
I think that looks good. I didn't use the Hasura admin to get my tutorial. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's all good. This is the good stuff to go through here. We've got the add a headers property. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to switch to an object input format because I think we're gonna go ahead and just copy this object structure here to make it be a bit more declarative for what we're trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and go back here now to pasting in. I'm going to just do it like this. Then we'll harvest it for parts. Document is the query, which that's fine. I'll let it finish up variables. We will just pass in an empty object for, and then headers should just be this here. So we can go ahead and gut the rest of this here. And then I'm going to pull off this whole string concatenated thing here. Pretty sure that's not that. Or does it need to be double quotes?
I don't think you can use the quotes, but I don't know about the bracket.
Usually, yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it does. So we've got the document, we've got everything. What form does it have? Any special format that it's asking for? Well, let's just do it this way. I'm sure we have a GraphQL request example.
I feel bad because I always use the GraphQL code generator, so
yeah,
this is like my first time handwriting.
It's all good. Oh, so we've got to add in maybe some. Let's fetch. So we have. Let's go ahead and look for a GraphQL request. Not there. GraphQL request headers. I'm just having a look. How I went shopping with that. All right, we're going to have to... I do believe I have an example of this running locally. Let me just pull open a search here on my machine. You're not finding anything either, huh?
I'm looking. Like, what you have looks good to me, so I'm trying to find out what I'm missing.
It seems like. So what I'm surprised by, and maybe I'm actually being stupid. What I'm surprised by is, and maybe this is what Darren Jennings is getting at in chat, is that I thought it was always headers. Maybe this was actually just the type name, not the actual property on the object, right? So maybe it's just headers.
No, I think you had it right in that form.
Because the previous version that I have done in the past used headers as the property for GraphQL request. Oh, you know what's interesting? So there's two different formats. There's the GraphQL request object, and then there's the GraphQL request.
Just like pass
And there's
them in.
there's the GraphQL client, right? There's two different exports from the.
Oh yeah, we just did the request straight up.
So let's see. Authenticating the HTTP header. So their methodology here is to use the GraphQL client. I wonder if request doesn't actually. Well, no, it says it. Because I've actually not used the request by itself.
Okay. I see that example, but there's not very headers on it. Is the example above this error handling one the one you're looking for?
I was looking for one that uses request with a header. I mean, it seems like it should take that. So request headers. So now, Mr. TypeScript man, here's where you're going to have to help me out here. So we've got the request. Then we have the request headers here.
Yeah, that form looks like this isn't the object form. This is just like you need to pass these in a correct order form. So maybe if we tried that instead of doing the object form, which is what I think we had originally and didn't work, but maybe if we try again.
And then if not, we're going to make the GraphQL client. This is where it gets fun. Never Hasura that causes the problem. It's always the tools or everything else around it that whoops. It'd be sad to accidentally close that down. And then it was just an object, right?
Yep. And then variables, I think, yes, needs the empty object.
And get rid of that closing there.
Just really
possible that we didn't have. What's that?
It just doesn't like. Are we sure that the environment variable admin secret's set up?
I can log it out at this point. I've pasted into the. I've pasted it more times inside of. Okay. I wonder if I can actually see the. I wonder if I can actually see the request of what's even getting formed. If I inspect it. Let me see if I can pop that into the browser here so everybody's able to see it too. So if we go to the network tab here, we can see the GraphQL request going out. There's so many.
Can you set it to just fetch?
Oh yeah, yeah. So the headers. It's setting it.
Is the casing incorrect? Or?
Maybe. I thought it was case insensitive, but or does it need to be
Or do you
passed
need
in
to
as...
put X dash Hasura admin
Oh,
dash?
frick. Oh, son of a... Yes, you do. It's right in front of my eyes the whole time. Welcome to the Bush League show, everybody. Oh man, that's
Sorry
super
about that.
annoying. No, that's my bad. Oh man, that's funny. It's funny, but not funny at the same time. All right, cool. Let's go on and move on to blue-breasted cordon bleu. That's an animal name.
That sounds fun.
That's an animal that should kind of like hide when it comes to Thanksgiving. You know, like. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and actually get back to the remainder of the tutorial here. That was pretty funny. Okay, cool. So we've got the post loading on the page. That's great. We've got the section here now. So set up incremental static regeneration when running Next.js in production mode. If we add a new blog post in Hasura Next.js, has no way of knowing about it. In the past, before incremental static regeneration, we would have to set a revalidate time. That part I'm familiar with, where it would rebuild a page every X amount of time, even if there wasn't anything new. So when we set up a Docker Compose, we came up with a secret token. So we have that as a reference. Create the revalidation API route. The only difference from the official example is we look for a secret token in the header instead of a query variable. All right, so we're going to make an API route called revalidate with this information, yeah?
Yep.
And now I need to unzen myself here. And we're going to go ahead and make a new API route here. We're going to just reutilize this one here. And does it have to be called revalidate? It doesn't, right? That's not part of any sort of naming convention that Next.js is aware of.
Nope, but that'll be the URL that we'll hit from Hasura. So whatever name we use there, we just have to note that on for our URL.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this as it is here. So we need to make the secret token, process that info secret token, which we already have. And so we need to pass in from the Hasura side, I guess, that secret token when we're calling this API endpoint, yeah?
Yep, we'll put it in the headers.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. This is it, actually, for this code here. We just hit save, and that...
Yep.
And that endpoint's ready to go. All right.
Yep.
So from the blog post now, we need to go back to Hasura. And we're going to set up a event trigger, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to go back over to the Hasura. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Oh, no, let's leave it open. Go to events, and we're going to go ahead and create a new trigger. And we'll go and call this revalidate posts. And the database we're watching is our default. We're going to watch the public schema. And we're going to be watching the post specifically. And we want to be watching insert and update. And probably delete too, right?
Yeah, and I always do via console. I'm not sure if that's
so you can test it.
Not. Yeah.
The via console means you can trigger it from the console itself to be able to test it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we need to get the actual running endpoint. This will be the part where the whole stack blitz is going to become interesting for us. So we've got a locally running web container.
Oh, is that not? Is that URL I think accessible on the internet?
I'm not sure. I am going to send it over to you in our private chat, and you're going to pull it up and see if it actually loads for you locally. Because if it is, then it's an available endpoint. If not, we're going to have to deploy this to Versal.
Connect.
All right, so we're going to have to.
Sorry, hold up. It gives me the option to open it in Stack Blitz, but I guess that's not enough because we want to hit it from Hasura.
I wonder if there's just a fast stack blitz
Maybe it
public
did
API.
work after I hit start. Now I'm in the URL, but
Well, what we can do is we can just put this sucker live. So here's an example where they have a so it's a REST API example. I'm just kind of curious. So that is like a persistent API endpoint. So if I look at my copy of StackBlitz, is there a way to like publish this?
Yeah.
Let's just have a quick look. We can say I'm going to go ahead and what does share do? Okay, visibility public. Make the secret accessible by URL. And
there's that open in new window. I'm not sure if that.
Where do you see that?
Let's see on your screen. Outside of the share, it's like in the top right of the Stack Blitz. So on the
open
right,
a new window.
I'm not sure if that's what we're looking for, but
that's just opening it locally because it's
okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just connect this to GitHub and publish it so we can kind of just keep it rolling. And then we can have it just deployed that way.
Can you deploy it from to Vercel just
like
from
that's sorry. Like this, I'm going to send you this URL here. See if that one works for you.
That gives me like the editor view.
The editor view. Okay. What I'm going to do then is
could we deploy to Vercel just from
yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to connect this to GitHub. So I'm going to connect this to a repository here. Going to create a new one here. We'll go ahead and call this the Incremental Static Regeneration, ISR. ISR demo. Go ahead and make that create repo and push. I will have to connect that to Vercel now. But no problem. Vercel is awesome. New project from a Git repository. And I have to set up my environment variable here. That's fine. Can I set up the environment variables now, or is it in the next step?
Right above deploy the button.
Environment variables. There we go. And that was a secret token.
Yep.
And that was going to be the peak beard envy.
Looks good.
And then I need to add the Hasura admin secret. At this point, it's just been so published around the internet that I'll be surprised if there's any content left in this database. That should be good. So we'll go ahead and hit deploy.
Wow, that was fast. That was my first time seeing Vercel.
Yeah, they got this sucker wired. Yeah, it's good. Good on you, Vercel. So it's building, and we're getting here ready to connect the real magic. Almost there. Let's see what we can watch the build process here. Cool. So we've got the thing working here. Everything is running. We can go to the dashboard. We can even see that it worked because it was able to fetch our content, which is great. What we're going to do now is we can pull this up, and we're gonna try and change that ring-tailed Cody Mundi as an example. But so what we need to do is take this as our URL back to Hasura, paste this in as our base path API / revalidate, and then we need to give it a custom header, right?
Yep, in advanced settings.
In advanced settings, we're going to go ahead and say header, and it's looking for a secret token.
Yep.
Is it looking for it to be uppercase or anything? Or
I did everything uppercase.
Okay, yeah, secret token right there.
Oh,
so we
well,
go
I
ahead.
guess in this headers we put it as secret.
Oh,
So that's a little my bad.
That could have been
I could have sunk some
disastrous.
ships.
That could have loose secret environment variables, and we'll say
Sorry,
from
that was
and far. It's all good. Secret token. All right.
And then
So
it should be good to go.
let's give it a shot. See what happens. So now what we might encounter is that the requests are not sorted. So what we can do is we can actually insert as our first test here. We can go ahead and insert this on our post as just a random animal. We're going to go ahead and I was going to write in Chihuahua, but there's no way I'm going to attempt to spell Chihuahua live on the air. Pomeranian, fun fact, that was the last dog that I owned. Like, yes, the little fluffy one. And we'll say content, small but mighty. So what this should do when we hit save on that, small but mighty, here we go, is it should cause that page to be regenerated on Versal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we actually just quickly refresh this, we should not see it on the page because it's like not yet there. Was it that fast?
Refresh that fast.
Dang. That's impressive. That's actually really impressive. Wow. Okay. Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So you saw how fast you edited your content and already your app's up to date instantly, and you didn't have to do it on a timer or anything, so it only updated when it needed to.
Let's go ahead and find our ring-tailed. Let's go ahead and edit this one. Gonna give it some capitalization love here. All right, so we hit save on that. Go back and have a look. And then we give it a couple of seconds to do its thing, hit refresh. And you can see the issue being that it's not sorted, so it's just going based on when it got edited. So now it's at the bottom, but there it is. That is quite impressively quick, and that's a super helpful way. Like, there's no events happening right now in the background. There's no rebuilds going on, no triggers, that's happening with this on a 2-minute, 1-minute interval. This is literally only when I'm calling this. That becomes an extremely powerful paradigm, especially with Next, where you've got everything kind of all built together. You've got the API routes right there that you're able to trigger from Hasura. Wow, I can see that being really cool. What'll be interesting is you can also do like different API routes, right? Because we could have there be a different model that would then be able to update. Will this work for individual pages too, or like if you did like on an individual like slug page?
Yeah. If we could go back to the code real fast.
Mm-hmm.
You can see on line 15, we're telling it what page do we want to revalidate. So we could do logic like in our event trigger, we say which page, or we could have different API routes for the different pages. But basically, yeah, we tell Next.js which route do we want to specifically revalidate. So here we just hard-coded the index page, but if we needed to be fancier, then yeah, we could pass in just information in our event on what page needs to revalidate.
Let's just see. I don't know. Let's just see how fast we could potentially iterate here. Let's do something like an animal path here. Underneath animal, we're going to go ahead and do a new file called slug. I'm going to copy our index content here. This inside of slug. And what we're going to do is we're going to need to do get static animal page. And then we're going to do get static paths. Which I think it's just that. And it's saying...
Oh, do you need to say function?
Yep, async function, yep. And then we need to return... I'm going to look it up here real quick, but it's something with paths on it. So get... paths next, not versal.
There's a TypeScript type we can put like on that get static path function that'll tell us what the return should be.
Oh, that's true, right? Go ahead and just use that. I'm going to have you walk me through that TypeScript bit. So we're going to go ahead and tell it. Yeah, good.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me see Next.js. TypeScript. Sorry, I haven't done that before. Okay, it should be the type should be just capital get static path.
Static paths. That's passing as a generic before the function call, right? Or is that actually as a the return type?
Yeah. Cool. And then I think you might just need to import it.
And I need to put it in the right place?
Oh, I think you have it in the right place.
I didn't.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
So it's saying, unfortunately, I don't have as great typing with this online IDE, but okay. It's not compatible with the shape it wants is...
So I think if you hit the autocomplete button inside that bracket, it should help you.
Yeah, the autocomplete button's not working here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You return an object with paths.
So it's just root level paths. Okay.
Let's see. And that looks like an array of objects where it's parameters colon object of slug.
Okay, yeah, yep. So it needs to be paths is object is an array with object of parameters.
I think it's just params from the example I saw.
Could be slug. Is that happier?
Yeah, that looks good. What is it mad about?
Param slug string is not compatible to type. Paths does not exist in type get static paths.
Can we see what that type
does it expects? It's usually like props, I think.
Okay.
It's the top level request.
Okay, the example I saw had paths.
Props, yeah, props, and then it's a
It says
See, property props colon, and then it needs to be, but it's not asking for an array, which is weird. Normally it's an array.
Can we just double check we imported the right get static paths and it wasn't from something else?
I think it's the right one.
Is it at the top of the file? Okay, yep. Just wanted to double check that.
What we can do is, I'm just going to look at the Versal documentation real quick for get static paths, which is returning.
Yeah, there returns path.
So it's returning just paths, but okay.
Oh, you know what it is? You were right. It's not the return type. That's the function type.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
You were right. I'm really sorry about that.
No worries. I'm just not good enough with the TypeScripts yet.
Cool. I think that looks, or no.
Well, it's gotten itself a little bit goofed up. All right, so paths. All right, there we go. It seems to be happy with that. I don't know why it's like not showing up there, but it's fine. Okay. So what we can do is we can do a fetch again. So we're going to take this whole thing, and we're going to basically come back up here, and then we're going to say const paths equals post dot map, and we're going to take the path, or we're going to take the post, and we're going to return an object, which is going to be params slug is then post dot title dot to lowercase dot trim doesn't take out spaces in the middle, right?
No, I think trim's just on the ends.
Dot replace so we can see what we get for slugs there.
Is there a replace all? Does replace only replace the first thing? I thought they recently added a replace all, but I could be wrong.
Well, this is replacing a single or you're talking about across the whole thing. Is it IG?
Or
I think when it's this format, it replaces all, and if you do the regex, you need to declare.
Okay.
I think, but maybe I'm wrong. What we're going to have it do is we're going to have it. We're basically running out of time at this point. Hey, Confidence, nice to see you in chat. All right, we got the. Just see what happens first of all if we get that slug going there, and we can pull open the window again, not the but the actual. Let's have it log out what the actual paths are here. So we can see. Oh, of course. So let's see what we get when we. If we get it, maybe it has to be when it reboots the server. I don't know. Well, I know that I've got a Pomeranian in there.
Do you have to do like /animal/Pomeranian?
It might be actually, yeah. But it's probably going to 404 because I've got like issues with so 2 lowercase capital C, right? And so then we've got the content here. We're gonna probably just call it there. There's our paths and there's commas in there and stuff. So we're gonna not worry about that. I was wanting to see if we could push it a little further here, but we ran out of time. But the fact is, what we did get going, because the whole push here, where you have the incremental static regeneration, being able to update things that quickly, and as a response to events, is like crazy. Like that's
yeah,
really,
that worked really well.
Yeah, super cool. Hey, we're gonna call that the show today. Really appreciate everybody coming out today. That was a lot of fun. We're going to, like I said, we're going to have the follow up to the temporal stream on Thursday evening. I will post information about that. You can find the YouTube links as well on our channel as always. Quick reminder, HasuraCon, sign up, as well as if you are curious and are wanting to fill out a CFP. We're doing CFPs now. We'd love to see and hear all the amazing things you're building with Hasura. A lot of fun stuff here. If you're using static, incremental static regeneration or whatever else fancy things you're doing, great stuff to see. But yeah, that's that for today's show. Thanks again for coming out. Thanks, Arjun, for the super last minute hopping in there. That was awesome. Great having you on the show. We'll definitely make that more of a repeat. A lot of fun. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. And everybody have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thanks, Jesse.
Bye.